Hello everyone, and welcome to the CEW podcast, the show where I typically just ramble about stuff, be it wrestling, content, whatever, core. You get the drill. Today we have something a little bit different for you all. I have a PowerPoint presentation lined up for you all in terms of what we're going to be doing in 2025, how I felt about 2024, you know, small things, big things, just like my thoughts on content going forward and whatnot. So, before we get into that, let's start off with, how has the year been so far for me? Well, I'm wearing a Christmas shirt for starters. But, no, like, genuinely, January has been pretty interesting for me. I've locked in. I've really locked in, not just in terms of content, but, like, life in general. I'm really hunkering down, looking for a job, that kind of thing, right? You know, like, you know how life is after you've left uni. It really is just trying to make money any way possible. So I'm trying to lock in as much as humanly possible to get what I want to get, which is, you know, some form of employment and, you know, all of that. Life has been pretty good to me, I can't lie. And yeah, I'm pretty happy with how things are going in January, and we're only about, at time of recording, about 13 days in. X Factor's finally recorded as well. Before we get into that, X Factor is finally recorded. I will be editing that throughout the month, and the Road to X Factor is pretty much also done. Let me just sort out this lighting. Road to X Factor is almost fully recorded. I've just got to do a few little things, few little promo segments, and maybe one more match. We'll see how long the show is after I've put it all together on the timeline, and then that will be ready to go as well. I'm hoping to have that done this weekend, so probably Sunday, but we'll see. I will be promoting that as much as possible, which is something we'll get onto when we get into this presentation. So, without any further ado, it is time. I crafted this up this morning. We have a PowerPoint presentation. It's not really a good spot for me to kind of go here. I guess if I go here, that's probably the best play. Goals and plans for 2025. Might as well, right? You know, might as well do a PowerPoint presentation. There's no fancy transitions here, unfortunately. I didn't have time to do all of that. I just wanted to have all of the notes in a fun and presentable way. So let's get into it. So, 2024 in review. So the 2024 best year in channel history. It's not even close, okay? Highest sub growth, highest consistent viewership, best shows I've ever made. Simple as, right? I don't think it goes without saying how good 2024 was in terms of this channel. But it was also the year that I challenged myself on what it meant to be a creator in the core space, right? Like, before 2024, all I really did was core videos, right? CEW episodes, EPW episodes, that was it. And I said, well, what if I expanded? What if I did wrestling as well, right? Wrestling think pieces. What if I started doing core reviews? What if I started talking about 2K a lot more? And that's really done well, right? Like, I think a big thing is that people should be challenging themselves in this space. Absolutely they should. But it's also been a year of ups and downs, you know? Like, I graduated, but I'm also looking for employment. But this channel has been a major up for the majority of the year. There have been some down times, but I've kind of moved on from them pretty quickly. But there is always room to do better. But what do I mean by better? Well, doing better in 2025 isn't about just getting higher numbers, right? It's not all about the sub count, the viewership, etc. Sure, it's nice. Sure, it gets me closer to getting monetized. But I want to continue to redefine, in my eyes, what a core creator can do in the content space. I do feel as though a lot of people pigeonhole themselves into the box of I can only do core content. And I don't want to do that anymore. I've got new content ideas, new presentations and styles that I'm trying to bring out in the content for you guys. And I do think that it's definitely working, right? Like, the core review has done so well. In fact, I can actually get a little fact check on that, like, right now. About 240 views on the core review, and it's not even been out for 24 hours. So, like, this is what I mean by, like, all new things are really helping. But it's also about establishing a better work-life balance. I think if you guys know me, you know that I have a very, very unhealthy relationship with working. I really do. I'm the guy that will have a deadline for 3 weeks and I will get it done in 3 days. Because I feel like I have to. Because the pressure's on. And sometimes it's great to being able to just do stuff, like I was able to get the Women's Rumble done in a week. And now I've got to edit it, which is going to take a little bit of time. And I'm going to try and pace myself on that, but we'll see. But sometimes it's just not healthy. It's not healthy. And I really need to cut down on that. So we will talk about how I'm going to establish that better. But I also just want to continue having fun, right? Like, I think that's the big thing when it comes to the content that I did last year. It feels weird saying last year, but it's the truth. Is that I had a lot of fun experimenting, doing new things, doing more creative projects like the CAW Reviews and the live streams, and playing 2K20 until it crashed, right? Like, there was so much fun involved in all of that, and I just want 2025 to be like that. I don't care if we don't even gain another subscriber, right? I don't care really if we get monetized or not. Like I said, it'd be nice to have more viewers, more sub count, get monetized, make a little bit of money, but it's not the end all be all for me. I just want to continue to have fun, create new concepts, and just have a great time, right? And, you know, make sure that my mental health does alright. That's all good, but what does all of that actually mean? So now we're going to get into the actual, like, content plan, bit by bit, section by section, kind of category by category, and we're going to start off with the goals for CEW. I want Kingdom of Glory 2 to happen this year. It is heavily subject to change. It really is, because right now, it's doable. But if situations and circumstances change, which I'm hoping they do really soon, that might not be possible. And I really want this to be a potential swan song for current CEW. I will explain more when we get nearer to it, but I do think we are reaching the end of the current chapter of CEW. We are really, really getting to the point where this is the end of the story. Or at least the end of film 1. Right? The first film. The first book in the series kind of thing. And I don't know where that's going to take us in the future, but it will take us somewhere. Absolutely. Speaking of that, I want to try and continue to make CEW feel unique, right? Like, people like the term different, I like the term unique. And what do I mean by that? Unique characters, unique storylines, and unique concepts. I want you to see something in CEW that you cannot find anywhere else. Be that a character that is exclusive to CEW. You know, you've got ones like Cheyenne and, you know, people who I know in real life that have graciously made calls for me over the years. And it's really fun, right? Like, I love having that unique element of characters I've made that are only on CEW and on the network. I like the unique storylines that I feel like only... And again, right, this isn't an ego thing, this is a life thing, right? I have a way of telling stories, and I have inspirations that nobody else will have, right? Like, I've gone to, you know, university, I studied filmmaking. I have a way of looking at making these shows that maybe some people don't have. And I think that helps make CEW feel unique, because I'm not looking at it just from a wrestling fan perspective, I'm looking at it from a, how do I make this look the best it can, and how do I tell a good story? And then we get into Open Challenge Night. I want to expand on the idea a little bit, which might mean new submission forms, but for now I'm going to keep the original ones. If things change, I will be sure to let you guys know. But I want to keep community involvement at the helm of it. At the end of the day, I made that series to get you guys more spots on the network, because CEW has and always will be a very me-led project, same as Europe Pro, which we'll get onto in a second. So keeping this series really, really community heavy is a big thing for me, and I will do everything in my power to do that. And if I'm right, Open Challenge Night forms, there will be links to these in the description. Everyone is welcome to fill out a form, And who knows, you might be on the next one. I'm not sure when the next Open Challenge night will be, but just keep an eye on, the socials and all that, which again we will get onto momentarily. So now we're going to get into EPW or Europe Pro, which again, we'll explain a little bit later why I keep saying Europe Pro. I want to continue to expand on the highlight show formula and continue to push the boundaries on what I can do in this format. I feel like I've just scratched the surface on what I can do with Wednesday Night Warzones. I really, really have. And there's so much more that I can do. So much more. And let's do it. In 2025, let's just do it. I also want to bring more spotlight to EPW. I feel like at the moment it feels like a side project, and I want it to feel like it's a bigger deal on the network, right? I feel like if you look at prioritization, it probably goes CEW, Think Pieces, and the CAW Review together. Then it's like the podcast, then it's Europe Pro, then it's live streaming, which again, anything I bring up will be discussed here. So I want to make EPW feel more like an equal and not just a side project, and in order to do that, I need to flesh out the divisions and the cause more. I need to make main eventers feel like big deals, not just within EPW, but within the entire network. I need you to know that, like, EPW's world champion, so Bullet Holland, could go toe-to-toe with the Bob Parks any day of the week. And I feel like I'm starting to do that, and I feel like you guys are really starting to really look at EPW in a new light, especially now that I've gotten the applications and stuff and new roster members are coming in. Speaking of, we will be announcing some new roster members this week, so be sure to, as always, keep an eye on the socials. So yeah. Then just general stuff, right? So like think pieces and all of that. I want to just experiment and have fun, right? Creating new content and sustaining new series that was a word, is only possible if I actually enjoy making the content. And honestly, experimenting has led to many of my top videos, the Death Rebel video, like, so many new, like, top videos for me are ones where I just said, what if I did a video on this? Or what if I tried this? That's when things really started clicking. Like, my most viewed video is the problem, the Death Rebel stuff. The core tutorial is now up there. We've got the Undisputed Era Kingdom video, talking about 2K24. There's so much that I have done last year that I can now take and experiment with more. And speaking of series, I want to have a defining series, right? I want you to look at a video, look at a series, and go, oh yeah, the CEW network is the best for that, right? The CEW network is like the premiere for this. It's a series that I want people to know this channel for. And sure, we have CEW, but what is that? It's a core universe mode. We are not, as much as I would love us to be, we are not the premier core wrestling show, the premier universe mode on this platform. And that's just the truth. But I can be the top core review guy, or the guy that does a lot of think pieces. Sure, the think pieces, I'm never going to be the top guy for that. But I could be known for that. And I think that's the big thing. And I'm just going to continue to speak my mind. I think way too many people, especially in the 2K sphere, are too afraid to say what they actually want to say about core, about the games, about just things in general, especially within professional wrestling, because this community is very tribalistic and is very, very defensive. I don't care. I don't care. If I have an opinion, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna say it. Because not only does it make for good content, but it also is a great way of potentially opening up the conversation to everybody else, right? Like, I think that's a big thing. Next one. More general stuff. So I want to lock in whilst cutting back. Work harder, but on less days. So, right now, if I don't have anything planned, I will spend upwards of about 10 to 12 hours a day working on content. And I will do that At least 6 days a week. At least. So, how am I going to do that? Well, I'm great at making spreadsheets and I'm great at sticking to schedules. So I want to start scheduling content days. Days where I'm solely focused on working on making content so I can get it done in a decent time, but also allow myself time to breathe. I really do think it's important. I didn't run myself ragged last year, but I could feel myself getting a little burnt out, hence why I took a week off on Christmas. Otherwise, I'd be having it around about now. I just needed that time. And that was very, very helpful. So having just like a few days here and there where I just don't touch content and I just really don't focus on it. So having a good back catalogue is going to be fantastic for me, which is what these content days is going to like be built around. And I want to try and lean into shorts more, right? I know TikTok's kind of in hot water right now, and there's like this whole, is it going to be banned in America, is it not? I honestly don't know if it is yet, but building up my presence and the brand on there just seems cool to me. We've already got a TikTok, so, you know, hey, if you want to follow it, I'll put the @ or whatever on there and you can go ahead and check it out. We've got a lot of shorts. It really, a lot of the time, is just what we're doing on YouTube. So it will be a case of I'm going to start making TikTok exclusive content. I just don't know what that is yet. We'll see. It's an avenue not often utilized. It really isn't, especially in this space, right? Like, I feel like a lot of people focus on the big videos and don't focus on the small videos. They're going to bring people to the big videos. So shorts are a great way of doing that. And it's something I feel like I can do well. So I did this for my university project and all of that, right? Like, I did it for my uni grad film. I was responsible for, like, all of the shorts and all of the short content on our Instagram page. And, hey, you know, I feel like I was able to learn that really, really quickly. And it was a great experience for me. And now that I've got that from last year, I want to take that, apply that to what I'm already doing, which I feel like I'm doing pretty well with shorts. And now I want to push it further. I want to take that and move it even further into, you know, building up more. Doing more shorts, building up that audience, and building up that presence and building up the brand. Streaming! Yeah, you see, this is the time we've got to just be honest, okay? I have been tiptoeing around talking about streaming for a very, very long time, and I think I just need to be honest with you guys. I just don't think it's for me as a consistent thing. It really isn't. Scheduling is already a big problem, and when it comes to the 2K space and the wrestling space, content ideas really do dry up quickly. Like, 1 week it will be the universe mode trend, right? And we'll do a universe mode stream, or we'll, you know, simulate universe mode for 5 years in the future, and next week we have nothing because there's nothing that's doing well, right? It's a big thing, and it's a lot of time sunk without really gaining anything long term. I don't think I've really gained all that much from live streaming, because whilst it might have brought new people in with the CAW review, the video is doing better than the live stream. And I think that shouldn't be happening. I think the live stream should have done better than the videos, but I know what the people want, and the people want what I will do the best, right? What I will deliver the best. And what I deliver the best, and what I think is the most fun, is editing and producing videos. Because like, streams just aren't as fun because they heavily rely on viewer interaction. And because we're a channel that has, like, as weird as it sounds, because CEW started as a live stream fed, we've never really been a live stream promotion. Like, the network and this channel has never really been a live stream channel. So without our already like 1.2k subscribers, without that being built off the back of live streaming, it's a massive problem when I'm trying to go on there, I'm trying to make content, and it's very hard to do that when there aren't as many viewer interactions and topics that we can discuss, right? It's a big thing. I'm not saying that streaming is completely out of the gate. Like I said, it's just not for me as a consistent thing. I still want to do live streams occasionally, but I just don't think it's going to be as big of a thing as I've tried to make it last year. It's probably one of the worst parts of last year was trying to do live streaming. I just really, I enjoyed it, but I also didn't enjoy it, if that makes sense. And now, admin and branding. Half of you won't care about this, but I just really wanted to kind of let you guys know. So if things look a little different on the channel or whatever, or if I say things are a little bit weird, this is why. So let's start off with promotion. I need to start promoting more. And I'm not just talking about posting links in Discords and sending off like a promotional video to feds and whatnot, because I'm not gonna lie, that doesn't help. That really doesn't help. You need to farm and cultivate an audience that actually wants to watch what you're doing, and just putting a link to a company in a Discord server or sending out like an advertising video to like a random fed for a random show really isn't going to help you. I'm talking about a sustainable and healthy promotion stream. So let's look at it. Social media. Start doing more promotional content on TikTok. We have a decent audience there. I feel like some people have moved over from TikTok to YouTube already, but I don't know how many, and that's the problem, right? Like, it's difficult to gauge that number because I haven't actively really promoted YouTube and the content all that much. I just do the same content I do on YouTube, on TikTok, and that doesn't really work all that well sometimes, but we'll, you know, again, this is through review and experimenting that we'll figure out what works to get people from TikTok to YouTube. If that means making content exclusively for TikTok to get people to watch the longer videos, maybe posting like shorts of what happened on an episode of CEW, that might be the plan. More promotional content on Twitter, although that platform is an absolute cesspool now. It is still like our main road of promotion. It's probably going to take a backseat. I really do think that TikTok might be the play. Obviously, that really all depends on what happens with TikTok. I have no idea what's going on. I'm keeping an eye on it. Twitter is like our base of promotion, and it should always be the base of promotion in the sense of like we've built a lot of the community there. So let's keep it going. And then YouTube community posts and maybe reviving the Instagram. The Instagram is dead in the water. Reels do not work. I posted the first, like, how many reels? How many reels did I post on Instagram before I just said, nah, I'm good? Let me have a quick little look at that quickly. Reels. I released about 8 reels. Some did alright, but, like, none of them did, like, insanely well. Occasionally I'll get people coming over from Instagram to, like, you know, watch the channel and stuff, but it's never, like, the end-all be-all. So maybe trying to figure out what works on Instagram might be the play. I don't know enough about the Instagram platform, because I really don't use it, but maybe if I research it a little bit more, we could potentially start using that. And then changes. So the network logo is going to remain the same. The branding and the colors are all going to stay the same. I don't want to change that yet. But you will have been hearing me say it. EPW will be internally referred to as Europe Pro going forward. Why? Because EPW is such a common abbreviation. So whilst it will still be Europe or European Pro Wrestling or Europe Pro Wrestling, we will be referring to it as Europe Pro going forward. It's a small change. I'm going to have to make sure that I make a conscious thing to not say EPW too much. And I think we will be calling the show Europe Pro. Okay, so I'll be referring to the weekly shows as EPW Wednesday Night Warzone because Europe Pro Wednesday Night Warzone is too long. But on the show, in like promos, on commentary and whatnot, things will be referred to as the Europe Pro something, or welcome to Europe Pro, etc. Hope that makes sense. And then defining colors. So this is something that me and a friend discussed all the way back in like late 2023. And it was colors defining content. And if you've noticed, everything's defined now. CEW is green, Europe Pro is red and or silver, podcast is purple, streaming is orange, and think pieces are also red, but that's just because that's what works best on thumbnails. And I've got some examples here to show you what I mean by here are all of the colors. You've got CEW, you've got Europe Pro, you've got the podcast, you've got the CAW Review, you've got the think pieces, you've got the live streams. Obviously, the CAW Review is still going on, like, there's still an A/B thumbnail testing going on with the first episode to see if not green or red text works. Let me know. I'll quickly put a picture up of the green one. You see the red one there? Let me know which one you prefer. I actually want to hear from my core audience. Do you prefer the green text or the red text for the CAW Reviews? Just go ahead and let me know. So, in summary, to wrap this all up, 2025 might not have the groundswell of 2024. I have to accept that in my head. I'm going into this year thinking we are going to smash it out of the park again. And we might. We might do better than we did in 2024. But we might fall flat on our face and it might just not do as well. And I have to accept that. But I still plan on making my best content, having fun, and defining what the CEW network brings to the table. At the end of the day, I am just a human, and I really do want this to do well. I really do. And I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure that regardless of if the views are there, or if the subs are high, or even if I get monetized or whatever, that I'm still putting my best foot forward with every video I do. Some might be a little low effort, just because sometimes it's not, there's not a lot to edit with certain things. But I'm going to give you the best content I physically can. And I'm finally going to start properly promoting my content. So if you aren't on any of our social media platforms, I'm going to quickly pop them on screen for you right now. Go ahead, do yourself a favor, check them out, right? Just shout outs to the people who use Twitter. I really don't follow a lot of people on there, just because I follow the people who are tied to either the roster, the production, or whatnot, or something on the channel, right, basically. I think that's everything. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So that was the presentation. That is what we're planning on doing going forward in the big 2025. I want to thank you all for tuning in. It's been a little bit longer than usual, but I just wanted to really sort of highlight what we're going to be doing and what I think is going to be happening in the future of CEW. Because, well, not just CEW, but the network in general. Because 2024 was such a great year. Now we have to capitalize. It's all well and good reminding myself of the glory year that was 2024, but why do that when I can make 2025 a glory year too, if you know what I mean, right? Like, if I can make that work as well, then that's great. But thank you all for listening to the podcast. Links and stuff in the description. Go ahead, check them out, do what you gotta do. And yeah, I will see you all when I see you next. See ya!